Over the weekend, Tom and I got Chipotle, and our plan was just to sit in the car and eat it. I don't know, we do that a lot. Do you take out food and then just sit in the car and eat it? It was very nice. I don't know, we like to just get to visit and the kids weren't with, and so it was relaxing, and we got out to the car and I opened up my fajita bowl thing, so it had like the rice and the different toppings, and I was like, oh no, I didn't grab a fork. And so I'm looking at it and trying to decide, do I want to go all the way back into the store to get a fork or not? But there's not really a civilized way to eat a fajita bowl without a fork, right? And so I was like, okay, I need to run back in and get a fork. And I was thinking about it because I was like, at that moment, a fork was very valuable. Like I said, there wasn't a good way to eat that without having some kind of utensil. And so the fork was very valuable in that instance. But what's funny about it is that 2 forks would have been no more valuable to me than 1. I wouldn't have like used both of them. And 3 or 4 forks, still, again, that doesn't add any extra value. I just needed 1 fork. Well, hi, I'm Dawn from The Minimal Mom, and we love sharing about family minimalism, single person minimalism, anybody that wants to highly simplify their house. We've been living as minimalists for about 8 years, and it is one of the best things that we've ever done. We love our highly simplified house, and we love helping you get there as well. And so a lot of us get hung up on decluttering. There's just so many mental roadblocks. We sit down, we're ready to declutter, we're like, okay, I got this, only to get 1 or 2 decisions in and feel very discouraged. Like, how many forks should I keep? So today I want to share 3 tips so that you can plow through these mental roadblocks and get your house highly simplified, because like I said, the benefits are too good to stop now. Don't give up, don't stop, because it's so good and it's so worthwhile. And so tip number 1 is to understand that more isn't more. Like I said, I only needed 1 fork. Having 3 or 4 or 6 or 24 forks does not add any extra value. And so when we were decluttering our house, I was looking at everything. Do I use it? Do I need it? Could I get by without it? And what happened through that process is that I realized that extra inventory or extra forks or silverware or extra of anything was not adding extra value. Basically, once the need was met, once I had enough silverware, I had enough dishes, I had just enough clothing, by adding more and more, there was no extra value being added. In fact, it was actually the opposite. It was like once I was at that point of how much I needed, then adding to it was detracting from the value, because now I had more inventory in my house to manage. Now I had to manage all of these forks, where in the past, if I just had 1, I took very good care of this fork. I always knew where it was. I washed it after I used it because I wanted it to be ready the next time that I went to eat. And I know how we come by this mindset of having more, because it's like, well, wouldn't it be nice to have a spare? So I have 1, but it'd be nice to have 2 so that I don't have to necessarily wash it every time I eat. And then it's like, oh, but you know, what about the occasional visitor that pops by and I need 1 for them? And then, well, it actually came in a set of 4, so I might as well just have all 4 out. So I completely understand how we end up with 24 forks. And we can justify it even logically, right? That is not abnormal. It's not even that strange to think that we would have multiple sets of forks for various occasions. However, what I want to propose to you today is that if our goal is to highly simplify our house, if we want to have very low inventory to manage and therefore a very peaceful home and have peace of mind in our home, we have to go back to just having what we absolutely use and need on a regular basis. And this can be a little bit intimidating or even scary, and that's why we recommend using something like a time will tell bin. Throw it in the bin and then just see if you miss having it. And most often what you're gonna find, you're like, this is liberating. This is so freeing to only have 1 fork to take care of and to wash. And of course, when I'm talking about forks, I'm talking about everything, right? Plates, bowls, clothing, shoes, coats, linens, everything. By going down to just the bare minimum, there is so much freedom, but it's something that we have to experience usually before we really truly develop a value for it. And then number 2 is that we have to accept the risk involved with this. So if I'm gonna go down to 1 fork, we don't actually only have 1 fork per person. We have like 2 or 3, just so you know, but I'm using this as my example. I have to accept the risk. So over the weekend, we celebrated Adeline's birthday, her 12th birthday. It was super fun. I don't know how she's 12 already, and I certainly don't know how she's as tall as me, right? So normally when we have our regular family get together for a birthday, we have just enough forks to get by. However, we had extra family in town, which was super great. They came over. We did not have enough forks. So what do we do? So I have to accept that risk. If I'm gonna highly simplify, I'm also accepting the risk that there might be occasions where I don't have enough forks for everybody that comes over. So what do? I borrowed some from my mom. We could have got high quality plastic ones. I do have a company bin in the basement where I put extra cups and plates and stuff, so I could put extra silverware in there. But I have to accept the risk. I have to accept the risk that if I highly simplify my coats, there might be an occasion where I don't have just the right coat for that fancy event that we were gonna go to. And I'm okay with that. So I'm accepting that risk that I might not always have just the perfect thing. However, I'm okay with that risk because I've enjoyed the benefits of a simplified home. And now I say, I couldn't care less. I don't care if I don't have enough forks for 24 people. I couldn't care less. I borrow some, I get plastic ones, not a big deal. I am totally comfortable with that slight inconvenience because 24/7, the rest of the week, I get to live with the benefits of a highly simplified home and of only managing a few forks. And to me, that is 1000% worth it. But that's a decision we all make for ourselves, and it might be different in different areas of your home. Maybe you love to bake, so in that area, you don't want to have risk. You want to have all your baking stuff that you love and that you enjoy. That's totally fine. But when it comes to clothing, you don't really care. So you create a uniform, you have a highly simplified wardrobe, and you run the risk that there could be an occasion that you're not perfectly dressed for, but that's okay because you love how your closet feels now. But for me, it's so worth it. It is so worth it. Managing so little inventory is 1000% worth it. And I cannot think of a time or an experience where I regretted it or I thought, oh, I wish I had that stuff back. I look at it like, oh, okay, I might have to borrow something. Worst case, I might have to spend a little bit of money, but again, it is worth it. And the money I have saved in the long run from not all of the buying that I do, all of the consumerism, far outweighs what I might if I even just go buy some extra forks, right? I'm still coming out so far ahead that it is 1000% worth the risk. Okay, I'm gonna move on from that one because I get a little passionate about that one because I'm like, it's so worthwhile, it's so good. All right, number 3, if you want to simplify quickly, be a minimalist by Friday, we have to find a way to keep this goal in front of us. So like I've talked about before, often we can watch a video, read a book, read an article, and feel very inspired to pursue minimalism in our home. We're like, logically, yes, that makes so much sense. The problem comes when the rubber hits the road and we sit down to declutter and then we're like, oh no, but what if I need this? So we need to find a way to keep this goal in front of us. And the simplest way that I found is to use a Post-it note and just write something that reminds you, like low inventory. Do I want to manage this item? So again, when you get to the forks and you're like, but how many? But how many do I go down to, right? You say, do I want to manage all these forks? No, I don't. So I think we could realistically cut down to 2 per person and that would be plenty. And so finding a way to keep this goal in front of you because decision fatigue is real. And it is so easy to get into decluttering and start to feel discouraged because we've lost sight of the goal and we start to see the money that we spent and wasted, just all the things we thought we would use, the fantasy self stuff. Those feelings are real. That confrontation is real. And so to be able to say, it's okay, I might have made a mistake purchase, I had good intentions, I didn't know, right? And to be like, that's okay. The bigger mistake would be to keep it. If I'm not using it and my ultimate goal is low inventory, the bigger mistake right now would be to keep that item. On Instagram the other day, Mel Robbins had a post and she said, do you know what would make you happier right now? It's not more money, it's not a different job, it's not more friends. She said the number one thing that would increase your happiness right now would be to be easier on yourself, to not be so critical of yourself. And so this is complete permission to say, yes, have we all made buying mistakes? Oh my, yes. So we've all done it. And this is permission to be kind to yourself, to say you can declutter those things without guilt, because right now our ultimate goal is low inventory, because that is a kindness to ourselves. That is gonna increase our happiness. That is gonna long-term help us to be kinder to ourselves, because when you're living in a highly simplified house, you actually feel really good about yourself. Like in the past, I beat myself up so much. Why can't I stay on top of the dishes? Why can't I stay on top of the laundry? Why can't I keep all the toys cleaned up? And I was so hard on myself. Surely there was something wrong with me, right? And when I finally realized, no, it was just too much inventory to manage. You're not a messy person. You're not unorganized. You just have too much inventory to manage. And so we decrease the inventory. We find peace in our home, peace of mind. And that is so much more valuable than any of the mistake purchases that you made. I'm sorry that you made those. Ugh, it feels so gross and yucky. I am sorry that you have made those, but permission to let those things go. And like we talked about in the beginning, to understand that more is not more. And that by paring down, getting by with just the bare minimum, we are just gonna find so much peace and hopefully more happiness too along the way. So, could you actually be a minimalist by Friday? I don't know. I would love to see that. Honestly, if you could nail these mindset shifts and rent a dumpster and then also have a way to like get massive amounts of donations out of your house, I think you probably could. You'd have to be crystal clear on these goals, and then I really think that you could do it. But honestly, it took me a year to simplify our house. We got rid of 80 to 85% of the stuff in the process. And even though right now a year might sound like a long time, it was entirely worth it, and I would do that year over and over again anytime, because it was so worth it. So would it be super great by the end of the weekend to have a minimalist home? Of course, but don't not do it because it might take longer than that. It's too important, and the benefits are too great for you to stop or to give up. So you can do it. And we do have a couple playlists I'll link to down below, minimalism basics and getting started, that I think really help to hit home some of these key points that will also, again, this is mostly mindset shift, right? Decluttering is a lot of work, but if we can make the mindset shifts, it's so much easier. So I'll link to those playlists down below as well. And like I said, we've been talking a little bit, our workbook, How to Declutter Your Home in 15 Minutes a Day, will come out at the end of this month. And so we'll definitely keep you posted on that. It goes room by room through your house, very detailed. And so it was really designed for those who just want some more guidelines around how much do I keep? That was my whole goal behind writing it. And so that'll come out later this month, and we're excited to get to share that with you. So thank you so much for your support, your kind words. It means more than you will ever know. I'm so grateful for you. So thank you. And I hope that this helps. I love you, and I'll see you again soon.